Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Olivia Liang about season 2 of Kung Fu, which is premiering on the CW March 9th. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, what is the feeling like? You know, you do season 1, people love it. It gets announced for season 2. It's finally coming out. What's going through your head these days?
Going through my head these days, well, I just told you we're in the middle of shooting the season 2 finale as we're about to premiere season 2. So it's very crazy over here on like the Kung Fu set. But it's really exciting, you know, like we've been filming this show in COVID time. So it's always felt like a bubble. And we've always just been like, is this really happening? So it still, I think, feels very surreal for a lot of us.
Oh, absolutely. You know, now it's 2 seasons of playing Nikki, and I find that interesting because when you go in for the first season, I feel like there's some expectations and you're kind of getting a feel for the character. But now that it's 2 seasons, is there anything specifically that you love the most about this character now that you've played this character for 2 seasons?
Yeah, you know, I always felt a really deep and instant connection to the character of Nikki. I always joke, like, I don't really have to act to be Nikki because it's so real to, I think, a lot of Asian American experiences.
Yep.
But season 2, what I love that our showrunners and our writers have done is like, you know, Nikki was very serious season 1 and she was going through a lot. And at the beginning of season 2, you get to see Nikki really in a good place in her life.
Yep.
You don't see her in crisis mode anymore. So it's been really fun to play the lighter sides of Nikki this season.
Oh, absolutely. It's such a crazy thing because it's such an amazing time for content right now. And I believe, you know, it's on the CW and I believe it also plays on HBO Max, correct?
Yes.
So it's one of those things where, like, when it goes on multiple different streaming platforms, the access, that's one of my favorite things these days about content is the access. Is that safe to say that's one of your favorite things about being a storyteller, that a lot of people now have access to see a lot of incredible content from all around the world? It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as someone who loves storytelling but also loves consuming, like I watch a lot of stuff. So
Mhm.
it is awesome that there are so many different places to get entertainment and to hear and see and watch stories. Yeah.
Absolutely. We talked a little bit about, you know, right now, you know, you're still shooting and everything. When you got the scripts for season 2, I'm just curious what the mindset is, even before, you know, going in and filming it, because you know, so much happened in season 1. It was a lot, like it was just like there were so many ups and downs in season 1. So it's almost, there's always going to be like the how can we make it better for season 2? What are the storylines and the love triangles and everything? But what's going through your mind when you're like reading the scripts, like even before you go in and film it?
Before even getting to open a script, we are all just like biting at the whatever that phrase is. We're all so eager to read the next script because we don't get any scripts ahead of time. So as they're writing them, as we're shooting them, we're getting the scripts in. And so this season, every single episode has felt like a season finale.
Yep.
And so there's like a huge cliffhanger every episode. So we are always so eager to get the next script because we just need to know what happens.
Absolutely. I feel like that's something too where, you know, the social media reception for the show has just been unbelievable. And, you know, fans are like always asking questions. Like I know I remember like from last year, you know, yourself, Eddie, and Shani, you did a lot of like Instagram lives and everything on the Kung Fu accounts. And there's all these like
Yeah.
questions about like what's gonna happen, what's happening with Nikki. And it's almost like they have to know, like you don't even know some of the things.
Exactly. I think they think we know a lot more than we do, but we are often the last to know things.
Oh, it's definitely a misconception that like Yeah, like that you all know what's going on. Like I have friends in the industry too, and it's like we show up, we do it, and people think we know everything. That's why I find, I'm doing more of these interviews and like people like yourself tell me those things. Like we don't get the scripts that far ahead of time, right? And it's just now like all these like comments about from fans about what
Mhm.
happens. Like they think that you'll be able to like give them the answer if you were able to.
Yeah, honestly, I'll see these fan theories and I'm like, "That sounds great."
Yeah.
I would your guess is as good as mine.
I know it is crazy, and I wanted to kind of add because I said Olivia Liang, you're a storyteller. That's basically what you do. What excites you about storytelling specifically?
Oh, I just love that it makes the world a smaller place,
Hmm.
and it connects people in a way like, my favorite thing has to be being able to relate to a character on screen that
Yep.
maybe you didn't think you would be able to relate to, and just being able to see the human sides of people and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like there's so much to love about it. I mean, Kung Fu just looks amazing when you watch it. Just how they like the cinematographers just knock it out of the park. So I feel like if I name three things that I love right now about like content consumption, I feel like we kind of talked about like the access aspect of it. Like that's kind of the best thing. But then like how things are being written, but also how things like look. Like, is there one that stands out? Like aesthetic, writing, access? Like if you pick one of those three, like which one would stand out in terms of what you think is the most like dominant force about why we're in kind of this golden age of like content right now?
Yeah, I think people are being able to stretch creatively.
Yeah.
You pointed out cinematography, and that's what I'm noticing a lot more is that, you know, uh, stylistically, you're seeing a lot of really interesting choices being made. I think our show is doing a great job of doing that as well. We have two incredible cinematographers, Lindsay George, Chris Kempinski, and the visual aspect of storytelling that a lot of people don't get to see because they think it's just acting and writing. But setting up a shot and creating that world is the arguably the biggest part of what you enjoy about a TV show or a movie.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up, we're obviously not going to go into spoilers. What can you tell us about what we can expect a little bit from season two? It's a question that you're probably asked all the time, and I'm trying to always phrase it a different way because I know you do a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
You'll be doing more. What can you tell me about season two that you might not tell anyone else, maybe without spoilers?
Mm, without spoiling anything, you know what? I'm just gonna say that season two is really gonna leave you on the edge of your seat. Like I said, every episode has felt so epic and
Yep.
like a season finale, and every episode ends with such a huge cliffhanger that I really think that the fans are gonna dig it, and you're not gonna want to miss an episode.
Oh, absolutely. Olivia, I wanted to thank you for taking some time and chatting about season two of Kung Fu with me on Pop Turner. This was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was really, really fun.
Absolutely. So March 9th, season two is premiering on the CW. So amazing. And very quickly, can you plug a way where people could follow you on social media, keep up to date with everything? Instagram's probably like a good one, right?
Yeah, I'm all over Instagram. You can follow me at itmeolive.
Amazing. Well, this has been Pop Turn at youtube.com/Pop Turn for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Olivia Liang, plays Nikki in Kung Fu season two, March 9th on the CW, and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.